Ringo Starr was born Richard Starkey on July 7, 1940 in Liverpool, England. His early years were tough. His father left the family when Ringo was young, and his mother raised him mostly on her own. As a child, he spent a lot of time in hospitals due to illnesses, including a burst appendix and pleurisy. These long hospital stays kept him away from school, but they also gave him time to dream. During recovery, he was encouraged to join hospital band activities, where he first picked up percussion instruments. Music soon became his escape from hardship. Though not strong in academics, Ringo found joy in rhythm. He tapped on tables, tins, and anything that made a beat. His mother noticed his love for music and supported him in every way. Little did anyone know this boy from Liverpool would one day become the heartbeat of the biggest band in history. By his teenage years, Ringo was drawn to skiffle, a popular style of music in Britain during the 1950s. He joined a group called the Eddie Clayton Skiffle Group, where he first sat behind a drum kit. For Ringo, the drums weren't just an instrument, they were his way of expressing energy and joy. Unlike flashy guitarists or singers, drummers often stayed in the background. But Ringo didn't mind. He loved keeping the beat steady and strong. His drumming style was unique. He was left-handed but played a right-handed drum kit. This gave his playing a special swing that no one else had. Friends said he always had a cheerful personality which made him stand out. Soon he joined another group called Rory Storm and the Hurricanes. Ringo's star was rising, though he didn't know how far it would take him. In 1960, a group of young musicians from Liverpool, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, and George Harrison, were starting to make a name for themselves. They called themselves the Beatles. At first, Ringo only saw them as another local band. But fate had plans. The Beatles sometimes invited him to fill in when their drummer wasn't available. Ringo's drumming brought new life to their sound. By 1962, the band's manager, Brian Epstein, and producer George Martin suggested a change. They wanted Ringo to replace Pete Best as the Beatles' full-time drummer. The decision wasn't easy, and some fans protested, but when Ringo joined, the band finally clicked. His steady rhythm and easygoing nature made him the perfect fit. The Beatles weren't just four individuals anymore. They were one unit, complete with Ringo's heartbeat on drums. With Ringo on drums, the Beatles began their incredible rise. Their first single, Love Me Do, gave a taste of what was to come. Soon, songs like She Loves You and I Want to Hold Your Hand set the world on fire. Crowds screamed so loudly at concerts that Ringo often couldn't hear himself play, but he never missed a beat. Fans adored him for his humor and down-to-earth personality. While John, Paul, and George often took the spotlight, Ringo became the band's comic relief and the lovable everyman. His peace and love attitude made him easy to connect with. The world called it Beatlemania, and Ringo was right in the center of it. Though not the lead songwriter, he gave the Beatles balance. His grin behind the drum kit showed that he was having the time of his life, and so were the fans. Many forget that Ringo also sang with the Beatles. His voice was warm and charming, even if not technically strong like John or Paul's. But that was part of his magic. Songs like With a Little Help from My Friends and Yellow Submarine became fan favorites because of Ringo's friendly delivery. These songs felt personal, like he was singing directly to each listener. Fans loved his honesty, and his singing moments gave the Beatles a touch of humility. Ringo proved he was more than just the drummer. His songs often carried humor, kindness, and simplicity. Even today, those tunes remain among the Beatles' most beloved, showing that Ringo's voice was just as important as his drumming. By the late 1960s, cracks began to show in the Beatles. Tensions grew between John, Paul, George, and Ringo. During the recording of the White Album, Ringo even left the band for a short time, feeling unappreciated. The others begged him to return, and when he did, he found flowers covering his drum kit as a welcome gesture. Still, the harmony was fading. By 1970, the Beatles had broken up. Ringo was heartbroken, but he didn't let it stop him. He loved his bandmates, but knew he had to move forward. This was the end of one chapter, but the beginning of another. After the Beatles, Ringo launched a solo career. Many doubted he could succeed without John, Paul, and George, but Ringo proved them wrong. His albums Ringo, 1973, and Goodnight Vienna produced hit songs like Photograph and You're 16. Unlike his Beatles days, Ringo was now the frontman. His warm voice and relatable lyrics made his solo work popular. He even collaborated with his old bandmates, showing there was still love between them despite the breakup. Ringo's solo success proved he was more than just a supporting player. He could stand tall on his own. Not everything was easy for Ringo after the Beatles. Fame brews, challenges, including struggles with alcohol in the 1970s and 1980s. At times his music career slowed down and he seemed lost in the shadow of his Beatles past. But Ringo wasn't one to give up. With the help of his wife, actress Barbara Bach, he entered rehab in 1988 and turned his life around. From then on, he became an outspoken advocate for healthy living and positivity. His motto, peace and love, became his guiding principle. Ringo's story was no longer just about music, it was also about survival and hope. In 1989, Ringo created the All-Star Band, a rotating supergroup of famous musicians. Each tour brought together stars from different eras and genres, from classic rock to pop. The idea was simple. Everyone was a star, and they all shared the stage equally. Fans loved it because the concerts felt like celebrations of music itself. Ringo wasn't just playing Beatles songs, he was creating a new legacy. Decades later, the All-Star Band continues to tour worldwide, showing Ringo's endless energy and love for performing. At every show he spreads his message, peace and love. Today Ringo Starr is more than a former Beatle. He is a cultural icon. He has been knighted, honored, and celebrated across the world. His drumming style influenced generations, and his cheerful personality continues to inspire. Unlike many rock stars, Ringo doesn't dwell on darkness. Instead, he spreads joy. Every year on his birthday, he asks fans everywhere to say the words, peace and love, at noon. It's his way of giving something positive back to the world. From a sick child in Liverpool to the drummer of the most famous band in history, Ringo's journey is proof that even in the background, you can shine the brightest